Okay, good morning everybody, or good afternoon. Sorry, running 15 minutes behind today. Just about didn't make it here at all, so I guess we'll consider that a bonus. I did get a request from, I think, a young fellow a number of times. I haven't been able to stop long enough to take a look at who it is that's asking me, but I do know that somebody's been chasing me for a few days on social media to review TRCH. So I thought, well, you know what, I better deal with it first, because I'll forget if I don't. So I'm just saving the file here quick. If anybody has any files that they'd like to look at, I'd like to run through as many as I can here over the session. I want to get a good session in here because this is really a homework day. I'm looking around the market. I'm looking at different trading rooms right now because I like to do that. And everybody is realizing what kind of a day it is. It is a study day. And so the first one we're going to start with is TRCH. If you have any others, that would be great. Today is Wednesday, 10:30. Sorry, I'm just doing a real quick save on some of what was going on. Oh, by the way, this morning, in my frantic panic, I didn't turn on the recorder, so the recorder I just turned on. Not that much happened this morning. Sartaj got the epic webinar recorded on his end, I think, and it was on YouTube Live, so I'm sure there's record of it somewhere. And so right now I am just trying to document really quickly what's happening with Epic. It'll just take me another 30 seconds at the most. TRCH, I have the daily chart up there. We do have a scenario where TRCH has played out in accordance to the trading plan, and some of you may or may not know that I'm in it to win it. It's one of the bags I've been holding. This year I'm holding bags longer than I ever have. Normally by the end of a quarter I'm actually pretty good at that, being able to get out of them within a quarter. I can't remember my entry date, but that pink line there is the 200 day. And I think, so this goes back to July of last year. I think I was in right here in December. Now this one was actually one that give credit where credit's due, boy, or get yourself into bad karma in the markets, that's for sure. Anyway, I'm just saying that to some folks that I've been watching lately. I won't go on any rants today, I promise. What am I trying to say? Hedgehog Trader is the one that put me onto this, and I'm pretty sure it was the end of December that I entered. Sorry, I'm just finishing the post here. Yeah, so anyway, I've a lot of my profits every year come from people sharing charts back and forth. And it's really interesting how it all kind of plays out, you know, when you give a bit in the market and what comes back to you. And it's uncanny how it works. Anyway, so if you're new to our room, Nicholas at Hedgehog Trader has a fantastic service that he can help you out with. He's similar to us with our algorithms, but he doesn't do it like we do. He does it with other super magical stuff, methodologies. Okay, I think I got this done here. So when this gets posted, the fellow on social media will be happy here, because, and I apologize, I'll just say it right now, so when you view this, I apologize, I haven't had even a moment to look at who's been chasing me and getting it posted properly, but we're going to do it right now on TRCH. Okay, so I got what I needed done there. So TRCH is a trending stock on our setup, right? So our setup is the 200-day moving average comes swooping down. You see how it happened. And now this has been quite a while on this one, and it came down way before I got into it, of course. But it did lose the 200-day after it got it here, and it tested, and then it came back and tested. And you'll see a lot of them test twice. It did lose it for a while. So this would have been a bit of a tough trade, but typically I'll have exited at the top there anyway when the MAs turn again, and you just think the opposite principle, right? When the MAs turn the other way, or the MACD turns the other way. And yeah, so this is a standard setup from what we've been working on. Now, what's it going to do in the future? That's the question, right? So we got past earnings, so that's good. We're post earnings on it. We got a good spike before earnings. I could have pulled out there. I didn't. I'm holding it. Why am I holding it? It's holding the trend. And when you get in this setup and it actually holds the trend, there's no reason to get out unless you're playing the up and downs on it, right? And the up and downs on it. MACD turned down here on, what's the date? February 3rd, and sure, you could have sold there, re-entered when the MACD turned up on March 29th. It's a nice trending stock, definitely get a good return if you did that. I've just held through because it's a very, very small position, and it's part of my 5% gambling portfolio. Not that this is really considered that way, because it's definitely playing out properly. So right now it's over the 200. Stock RSI is high, so a little iffy there. But your squeeze momentum indicator is trending up. That's good. This is on a daily chart. Your MACD is pinching, and last time I can see that it pinched similar. It got a fairly good spike. So we'll see what happens with it. I always like to get out on the weekly. So in the weekly, it doesn't have the 200, and it's basically acted as resistance, but you see how it's slowly working its way up. And the same principle is worked here, where price came down. But in this instance, now really what you're doing is you're working with, so on the weekly, when this happens and it hasn't gained its 200, but it's using it as resistance, what you do is you think the same way I showed you on the daily there, but you think in terms of the 100-day instead of the 200. So I'll show you how this works really quick. So the 100-day came swooping down, price got above, came back, fell off just like it did on the daily, but it's regained the 100. So you could do this on a wider swing time frame. Now there's a little bit of concern there in that the 100's starting to trail down. The MACD is trending down, squeeze momentum's trending down. So there's divergence in the chart. If there's a place it's going to fail, it's coming soon. But I'm still holding it, and it's risk management sizing, right? So that's why I don't like people following each other's trades or people following my trades. Because when I take a trade, like I was in the room last night there late yesterday, and I was watching somebody like Maven take CBLI overnight, Well, I already know that that trade size was probably 0.1% of her portfolio at most. So, you know, for her to hold that overnight is different for, you know, it's trade size, it's risk management. So TRCH, if you're in it, I would say that if you're going to see a downdraft, you're going to see it fairly soon in the charting. There is a divergence there when you look at the weekly. We'll do a real quick fib test here. Wow, they changed all the pictures on me. It's made my life very complicated over the last few days, TradingView. But you don't care anyway, because you know, whenever I reach out because I'm having a problem with my charting, you've actually, your service department and people on social media and everywhere else have never once reached back. And do I have to call you out on that? Yeah, I do, because guess what? We recommend you, and that's really poor service. Just telling you straight out. Love your charting. Your attitude sucks. If I did that to my members, they'd run over me with a truck. Okay, I promised no rants, didn't I? Let's take a look. Fibonacci, the great mathematician. If you haven't done your research on Fibonacci, rolled over that rock 1,642 times in your study, you are being delinquent as a trader. Oh yeah, no rants. Wow, that's a little different. That's not a rant, that's love. Okay. Everybody's asleep today. I know it. I can feel how asleep the whole thing is. Don't go to sleep. At any second, a halt can happen. Your whole month can be made. You can't go to sleep as a trader. I tried to sleep in that storm, by the way. Truth be told, it was successful. I wasn't going to tell anybody, but I did get 2 hours sleep, which was nice. So I'm good for another 48 to 72 hours. So, is it respecting its fibs? It is. Do I like what I'm seeing? No. It's not the best scenario. I mean, it did. Yeah, I got it 618 at one point. It never did get its 382. Yeah, it's iffy, but it's respecting them. So at least you could work through them if you want. So you could, you know. I hate to give you an exit point. I am concerned about the divergence. But you know, there's geopolitical stuff happening right now too. Like, this is a Trump play. This is yeah, it's respecting its fibs. So, well, I may as well show you guys really quick. You can always go back in the video and watch this. So I'm just going to clone this really quick. Put this over here. This person that was after me was so patient with me that I'm going to do this proper justice here. Actually, you know what? What we're going to do is we're going to remove that one. We're going to run one more right here. Just 2 seconds here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this up properly really quick. Got that one going that way, so now I need this one going this way. Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't have this set properly. Okay, this goes like this. Man, I hate how you changed your pictures and stuff. I used to be able to move through this very quick. You got to think, you know, before you change stuff like that. Some of us are old. We're not these kids that grew up with technology. We have to, like, it's different for us. Okay, so no more ranting. Here we go. So we're going to clone this really quick, and I'm going to tell these peeps, clone, what to watch for. Come on, baby, let's do this. Oh, I want to cover a lot of charts here. This is important to know. So you just take that, you clone it, you put it over here. You know, when I get some one-on-one time with students that I mentor, they typically come back to me and say, this is one of the best things you ever taught me. Sorry about that. Okay, clone this. So this is the basics of algorithmic modeling, actually. Fibonacci is one of 53 indicators now that we use. And so there's ways to use Fibonacci. And you just witnessed one. I'm not going to explain it because I don't have time, because I got to fire through charts, because I got to get the setups done, because I think tomorrow's inflection day. That's just a trader's guess. So anyway, what am I doing? What you have here is you have the start of what we call a quadrant right here. So this to there, this to there, this to there. When trade, if trade, comes over to the side walls here, get ready. Right here. So if it trades in here, get ready for an up or a down. Now, if it signals a down, I'd probably cut and then re-enter at a support. I'm just confirming. Yes, that's where it is. Now, if trade got really active right now and it gets up into the top of that quadrant, the apex up here, anywhere near it, get ready, especially at this line here. Your major resistance is 231-ish, but it gets into this area, get ready for major up or down. Gets into this area, get ready for major up and down. Why do you need to know that? Because if you're going to see volatility, significant volatility in the trade, you're going to see it there, or then what you do is you scroll over here and likewise into the next quadrant. And that's the basics of quadrants. Simple algorithmic modeling based on Fibonacci. That's one of 53 that we use. But when we're modeling, we get all of them to confirm each other. Is how it works. But you can see here how it came off, ran up, it almost got into the apex there. Yeah, so that's the best I can tell you. I would just tell you that if you lose the downside, this dotted line right here, if you lose it to the downside, I'd cut and I'd re-enter at support. Because you could see significant downside if you lose it. Could. Not saying you would, could. And there's a divergence between the weekly and the daily, and the weekly divergence isn't good. But that's all short-term stuff. Like, that's not like, you know, I love the chart and I love the play and that's why I'm in it. And Hedgehog, by the way, see, he's a fundamentals guy too. I'm not. So fundamentals I can't share with you, but when he's in something, he's in it because his modeling and the methods that he uses confirms, but he's also confirming in his fundamentals, which is a great discipline to be in when you actually have time. I don't have it, but or you can rely on services too that do it. Okay, so that's TRCH. I spent a lot of time on it. I'm going to start firing through here. Do I have any other requests? If I miss your request, you just put it back in the room. The room's actually pretty quiet right now. The whole market's quiet, brutally quiet. There's an inflection coming. I'm pretty convinced. So if I don't have any, I'm going to fire into my own here right away. Okay, so I'm running my scans right now, quick. Of course, because of my delayed flight there, I didn't get a chance to run scans, do reports, or anything. What happened was I got back from a trip, and well, my scan runs here, I may as well tell you, I got back from a trip, ended up getting one report done. I was getting on another flight, and then I was going to, you know, it was a quick flight, an hour and 15 minutes at most, and then I was going to do the rest of the reports. Well, that hour and 15-minute flight ended up being, I think it was 5 or 6 hours or whatever it ended up being. 4.5 maybe. Yeah, wow, what a market today. So is there an official reason why it's gotten so soft? I haven't been able to look around. Like, is the Fed mucking about, or what's the reason for this? Interesting scans. Okay, so I'm going to what's going on with the moon and stuff, Hedgehog? Is there anything I'm missing? New moon tomorrow. There we go. I'm so glad we met. Both got crystal balls that work on totally opposite sides of the spectrum. A mathematician meets, what would be the right word? Hedgehog? Okay, shouldn't call myself a mathematician. I'm not a mathematician. I mean, I've got a grade 8 education. I left in grade 9 to go on the road with a rock and roll band because girls liked it. Okay, I won't say it. Whoa, I just about said something old school that would have got me in all kinds of trouble. Okay, let's look at the report from last night because there's some stuff in there we gotta check out. PBYI's on halt. What's going on with PBYI? Big crystal balls. What's going on with PBYI? Talk to me, people. Let's get moving here. Let's make some money today. I'd like to make my whole month this afternoon. You never know when it's going to happen, and it does happen that way. I promised I wasn't going to lecture anybody today. Subscription menu. That's not what we need. We need the report. All content, pre-market trading plans, post-market. That's the one we need. If you're a member and you're not reading the post-markets, you're simply you're just out of touch. It's been on halt all day. Does anybody know why? Panel approved. The prices are bouncing around. Panel approved. Don't have it on halt time. Oh, one other quick housekeeping thing is that I don't know, some of you know, but our family is in the oil services business, and I'm retiring out of it at latest end of October this year. I was hoping by this weekend, to be honest, but anyway, the whole point in saying that is I'm on these little planes all the time, and especially between now and the end of October, so this kind of thing can happen in the future, and I'm gonna do a better job at communicating to some staff and members when my flights are. Wow, internet just wants to give me a hard time here real quick. Come on, we gotta run charts. Jeepers. I haven't had time to set up the new computers. Got them, by the way. Yeah, we're waiting. Did anybody tell me yet why it's on halt? PYBI or PBYI? Suspended as awaiting. Oh, thanks, guys. Gals and guys. Tracy and Quarry and group. Come on, my lord. It's really hard not to say anything that's not considered politically incorrect when you're an old schooler. It's really difficult. Our language, when I was younger, 40 years ago, like if I talked right now how everybody talked 40 years ago, every single sentence would be a problem. Just saying, it's not easy. You gotta think what is going on with my charting. Okay. We're going to kill the epic algo here. It's throttling everything, I know it. Oh, by the way, the target did basically hit. Not perfect, but... And by the way, I'm in UWT, so I'm supposed to do trade reviews. The only trade that I've had so far today is the fact that support, so this horizontal gray line, and it's an area, be careful, it's not a strict line, is support. And as soon as the chart decides to get with the party here, there we go. Not only that, but it's the bottom of a actual quadrant on the 30-minute, right? And so your apex, or your inverse apex, which is what this is your highest probability area of a trade. So you'll want to take the trade when you get into the apex, either short or long. Anyway, so let's get rid of that charting, because that is being grievous, I'm sure. GLBS, like what happened to GLBS today? Why is this not one of Hedgehog's picks too? Like, why? I see nothing important. Like, that's a nice chart. That's trading beautiful. You can't deny it. Like that, I'll guarantee you. What? Oh, be careful. Careful, Kurt. Look. Beautiful. Couldn't be better. Perfect. In fact, why don't we do this one really quick? I was going to take this trade, and I thought, what are you doing? But look at it. It's beautiful. It's respecting its fibs just perfect. Daily's just a disaster. Let's see if we can get the fibs on the hourly here. Wow, those are great candles. That's as close as you get to soldiers without having true soldiers. Those are great candles. So there's your problem right there. 100-day. Let's thicken that up on the 60-minute. Shoot. See, I should have taken that trade. So $1.27. Doesn't mean it's going to stop there. I mean, it got through the 50. You could wait for it to confirm above the 100 and take the trade. You know, you get a nice little range there. So this is on the 60-minute. Darn it, I should have taken that. Okay, can we get a fib on this? Oh, look at the squeeze momentum on the 60, just turned green too. MACD's up. Wow, look at the volume. 1.6 million shares. Yeah, you're right, Hedge. These are dangerous. That's why I didn't take the frickin' trade. I was like, I can't take that trade. I'm risk averse. Okay, let's try the 30-minute, see if we can get a fib on this. Okay, so the 200 on the 30-minute is your issue. Let's see if this lines up with the previous I just said. So your resistance here is showing at $1.28. So it's coming right up on resistance right now. It confirms over that though. Man, I might have to take it. Yeah, offerings too. Yeah, you can't hold these. So true. There's wisdom there. Let's get rid of this view app. It's messing up the clarity of the chart. Okay, so here's how you do it, peeps. If you're... I meet with my daughter today. I'm pumped. My daughter's a cheerleader for a professional football team. I don't get to see her very often. I've got twin daughters, identicals, 22 years old. And Dad's pumped right after the market today. Get to have time with my daughter. It's awesome. Okay, so we're testing a fib there. Does it respect the fibs? It does. Look at that. So you just go along the fibs and see, you know, if trade respects them. So there's your resistance. So you get through this fib at 126 to 128-ish. Good chance you're going to get to 139. What's that for a return? If I would have taken it back down at this fib, which is where I was looking at it, 110 to 126, 16 cents on 110 is what, 18% or 16% or something. Wow, yeah, bad on me to miss this. So anyway, that's what you do, right? So you see how I ran through the different times. I looked at my MAs for my resistance. You see how it hit the 100-minute or 100-day on the 30 resistance. Now it's hitting the 200-day. You run your fibs. Make sure your fibs coincide with your MAs, but run the different times, right? Run your daily. Then you see now I brought the daily up and it was junk, and then I went to the 60. It was tough to get fibs on it because, well, you'll take a look at the video, you'll understand why. I went down to 30. I was able to get the fibs on it, confirm the MAs on it, right? And now we're watching resistance right here. This is another trade setup, right? Like the trade setup we've been working with is the 200-day comes down, swoops, and does its thing, and we've torn that apart. If you do that, you'll make 100% a year. I'll guarantee you that 100%. Anyway, this is another trade setup. So on the intraday, if you do exactly what I just did, if you don't understand what I did, go back into the video when it's published tonight. If you're not, if you're a learning trader and you don't read those post-market reviews and go through those midday chart setups, you're really letting yourself down, because these are gold. I'll tell you right now, this is gold. As soon as this touched that 100-day and it backed off and it was into this here and it got over the 100-day, that is one of the highest probability trades right here, from the 100-day on the 30-minute there to the 200-day. And that's, I haven't figured it out, but 16% on the day. You do that every single day. See, I look for 3%. You get 16% on your trade, man, you're doing good. Fantastic. See, if you can get 1% a day, $10,000 turns into $1 million in 24 months. At 1% a day. That's all you need. So how do you get 1% a day? Well, if you get 16% on one trade, you only have to trade 1/10 of your small portfolio size, right? So a lot of people say to me, but Kurt, you're going in with your whole portfolio, the whole sizing. No. That little 10K or 20K account I start with and try and build it so that I stay responsible, just the way I do it. That's a small percentage of my whole portfolio. So I'm not risking my whole portfolio. I'm risking a small percentage. And when you get good at it, you'll very rarely lose, and you'll cut your losses very, very fast. Rule number 1, cut losses. Rule number 2, go back to rule number 1. Rule number 3, listen to Kurt, because he knows what he's talking about, and you'll make 1% a day at least, if not more. And if you're focused, and I'm not, because I got lots going on, but if you're trading full time, you should be focused. And if you're focused, there would be absolutely no reason to miss this one. This one is an ideal, perfect setup. You follow the steps that I just took you through. So I'll finish my rant there. So what do I do here? I'll set myself a little alarm. Notice how none of the alarms have gone off today. That's interesting too. In the scanners, when the alarms don't go off on my scanners. So I'll set it, at the top of the fib. So I get a little, Now if you were about to take the trade above the fib, so you want it to confirm above the fib, what you do, so think price, trigger, power, trade, risk, reward. We know the risk rewards in play because that's what I'm teaching you guys. Well, I'm not teaching a lot of people. There's some of the world's best in this room, so I'm not teaching everybody, but the ones that I am teaching right now, I'm teaching you risk reward all the time. So these setups are teaching you risk reward, so you don't have to worry about that. You use one of these setups that I'm teaching you, your risk reward's already in play, so don't stress about that part. Your price, trigger, power, trade means price is doing what it's supposed to do. What I just showed you with the fibs and the MAs, it's doing exactly what it should do, and it's bullish, right? So your price is in play. Your trigger are the MAs and the fibs, right? Are they triggering? So over that fib and over that 200 is a trigger. So price, trigger, power is right. What you see here, you may not be able to see it, but you see it on your charting. Power is the velocity of volume, the aggressiveness, and the actual volume itself. So you got to be on top of it. So price, trigger, power, trade. Trade is executing the trade. So going back to the power one really quick, what you do, see if I'm about to take the trade, it's at the fib, and I've shown you this before. You go down on your, you get tighter. You go into your 5, your 3, or your 1, right? Now I'm on the 3. So now I'm watching my volume in here. I'm starting to watch my indicators closer, and I want to see a spike in volume when it's over top of that fib. Not going into it, but once it's through it, and quite possibly normally what it'll do is it'll come back and it'll test the fib. So on the 3 minute, when this got through its fib, it came back and it worked with the 20-day there. But I betcha, so you get really tight, get your 8 EMA and your 21 EMA on, and see magic. So this is your 21 EMA. So then you thicken it up, and look at that. Beautiful. Pardon me, I'm dealing with allergies. So then you go down to the 1 because it's getting really close to that fib, right? It's getting close to that trigger. Price, trigger, power, trade, risk, reward, PT, PT, RR. Say it a million times if you don't have it. All my blog posts are going to be dealing with exactly what to do from now on with these. So anyway, you guys have heard enough on it. If you do trigger above there, take it 1/5 size. So far today, you got 1/5, 2/5, 3/5. At best, you're going to get 4 and 5. So you only got 2 more legs at best today. Now, can it have 16? For sure. Is it realistic? No. Typically, a bullish stock on the intraday, you're going to get 4 or 5 legs. So your velocity of trade is increasing right now as I'm talking. So leg in 1, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and then 5/5. So we're a little late. Well, we're a lot late. This is where I should have legged in right here. And this is what you call follow through right here. Right where I was looking at it. Perfect timing. Look at that. Stock RSI at the bottom, exactly where you want to hit it. MACD confirmed right here. Squeeze momentum confirmed shortly after. And then volume confirmed. All set up perfect. Yep. Don't want to miss those trades. And like Nicholas says, don't hold it because they are notorious for making people's dreams not come true when you hold it overnight. So anyway, that's GLBS. Any other momentums today that we need to look at real quick? I know there's some swings I sure want to look at. Trading view. Why is it that when I try and get my, see, I do it properly, I'm sure, US exchanges, volume percentage gainers, click, and I don't think these are all percentage gainers. I don't think they're in order either. I see red there. Not sure why, and I promised I wasn't going to rant, so I'm not going to, but something's not right. NETS. So let's just look at this one really quick. And then I want to, oh, Cayman Islands. Oh, the beach. Okay, this is no good. There's not enough runway here. So this is just straight out. They sell shoes online, I guess. Straight out price action play. This is where you just enter and hope. There's not much else you can do. Let's go to the alerts log really quick. CALA. Am I in trouble on CALA? Oh, nice. It's holding up. So my swing in CALA is holding up. So here's an example. So we're on the daily, right? So when you're on the daily or on your swings, get rid of the EMAs. Okay, so the 200 swooped down, right? We've gone through this. It worked. Now it came back. It's in the bowl. So you'll see the timing of my trade. If you look at my trade, it comes up, comes through the bowl, comes up the other side of the bowl, kaboom. I hit it right here. I wasn't the only one. You see the size of that candle there? Why is that? Why wasn't I the only one? I wasn't the only one that hit it there because this is predictable. Now it should be a fair bit higher. Now what can happen is it come off and confirm, you know, a cup and handle and all that kind of fun stuff, but it might not. It might cooperate with me here. The 20s through the 50, the 100s trending up, all the MAs are on the right side, stock RSI is a little overbought, but the MACD is trending up, squeeze momentum indicators trending up. Beautiful chart. And on the weekly, 1 week, so if you're going to enter now, which you could, what are you watching for in this chart? Anybody know? 50-day is about to, so thicken up the 50-day, is about to what? It's about to breach the 100-day. So it was coming through the bowl. I was watching the 50 coming through the 100 on the weekly. I was watching my MACD. The MACD had turned up. My stock RSI on the weekly had turned up. My squeeze momentum had even started to come back up. My volume was up. I was after earnings. So that was a disciplined trade. It's a little bit late. So if you think, you know, this is leg 1, 5th, 2 5th, 3 5th, you see. So I'm now in 4 5th. The best I'm going to get is one more leg. That's how it works. Now really you got a wider term bull happening right here. Now that could play out really cool. That could send it right up in here easily. Now, chances are slim, being that I'm on the last of 2 possible legs there. How do I tell if it's cooperating? Take your fib out. This is a tool in your toolbox, boy. I was out in the field with one of our workers yesterday, actually getting dirty, and doing some real labor work. And the client was nervous because there was fire and stuff being used. And I said, you know, look at the man's hands. His tools are attached to his hands. You know that somebody is skilled when they're. It's like the tools are attached to their hands. We got GLBS. Oh boy, here we go. Did I just toast that chart? Ooh, UWT's on the right track. Okay, GLBS or whatever that's called. Here we go. Come on, show me something good. Oh, it is too. Oh, doggy. Oh, look at the volume. Okay. The 1 minute's confirming. MACD turned up. Squeeze momentum's green. 132. And what's this candle gonna do? Can't believe I killed that chart. I had it all set up properly. So I'm looking for velocity of trade here on the follow through minute. Here comes the buyers. Yeah. 25 seconds on the candle. And I'm long 134,000 shares. Now, I'm going to set this up really quick. So GLBS, I guess I better get it in there. Now I got to reset this up. What did I find on the 30? It was really nice, wasn't it? Man, that stock RSI is just peaking. So now I don't know what my resistance is on my fibs going up. So on my MA is going up, right? Because it's up over the 200. So I have to get busy and where did I figure out the fibs are actually? Right in here, right? Did I just hit it at resistance? No. I did, didn't I? I didn't catch. See? Don't trade without your fibs. Did I do that right? Anyway, it's over the 200 on the 30, so if I have these fibs set up right, and I think I did there, I just don't have time to go back and really check, but here's my 200, the pink line. If these fibs are right, I hit it late. I should have hit it right here at 130-ish. Why did I hit it at 134? Anyway, if I'm right, my resistance is at 138, 139 here right now. Sometimes I wonder about myself. Can't believe I killed that chart. I had it set up so perfect. And then my next resistance is up at, on the fibs is 152, so I'm going to confirm the MAs. What do I do to confirm the MAs? It's my 30 minute. I'm up over the 200. What do I got to do to get my next? Nobody's going to put it in there, hey? Okay, I'm going to start kicking people out of the room if they don't start cooperating, especially the students. The people that know that's okay. They just shut me off anyway. They turn their speakers off. Flash goes for a scotch. And so what did I do? I went up to the 60. Where's my resistance? 163 right now. Is there anybody in this room? Look at that. There's a lot of people in the room. Squeeze momentum's up. Ooh, that wasn't good. Did you see that? Came off hard there. Is there a natural? Yeah, there's a natural resistance. No. Yeah, there is right there. That candle right there. There's a little bit of resistance it's fighting with. So you got the natural resistance too. Bottom of the candle, right here. Gets up over there, and I might see 152. I can't remember on the lower chart whether or not I'm in the 4th or 5th leg right now. It's probably my last leg. That's probably the problem. So, anyway, my stop is at my entry, by the way. I took this trade just to show you, right, it live, but I think we're in the 5th leg if I remember right. I'd have to go back and get it on the lower time frame, and because I'm in the trade I won't do that, but I'm pretty sure this is 5th leg. You want to catch it on the, at latest on the 2nd leg. So you're running into natural resistance right now, and probably resistance on your 5th leg. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Tracy. Thanks, guys. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, if it's Brazel. But anyway. So I think you guys get the point, right? This setup, just like the other setup I've taught you, will work for you 9 times out of 10. And I'm not fooling around with those numbers. It's 9 times out of 10 if you follow the discipline of this trade. So this is your intraday, right? Why am I showing you this right now? Because the next thing I'm going to show you is when that 200 comes swooping down. You want to be able to trade before it gets over the 200, but you have to know how to trade it because it's tight like this, right? So this is how you trade it tight, is what I'm trying to say. Check UWT. It's in trouble. Don't lose money. If you're about to lose money, you cut, because you can always re-enter. There's your analysis. Rule number 1, don't lose money. Cut quick. Rule number 2, go back to rule number 1. Right, Trace? That's how you do it. Don't lose money. Give your broker a hot dog. $3 or $7 or whatever it's going to cost you. No big deal. You get on the right side of the trade. You get 5 legs in. You see where I'm going? 5 legs in. 16% or 13%. You only get 3 legs in, you get 6%. And if you cut quick, you lost what? I know a trader that will only take 0.25%. That's it. 0.25%. Because he has the power trigger, a price trigger power trade perfected. The power part. Because if you enter in the power, you will never be in a position where you can't have your stop at your entry. Very rarely. So he gets his entry in the power. So, like say this candle here, he gets it when it spikes, the power part. He sets a stop immediately at 0.25% under his entry. Gives his broker, 2 hot dogs and a beer. All of this, so I'll just tell you really quick while we watch this, really, I may as well, as a housekeeping issue. So Sartaj's responsibility to the business is to take what I'm showing you guys over the lunch hour reviews and the algorithms and code things for what we call a trader's cockpit. So we're creating our own trader's cockpit. The problem with it is it's not millions of dollars of problems, it's tens of millions. Now we can only handle, we're just small people, so we can only handle the small parts of the millions on our own. So we have to do one of a few things. We have to either get members with skin in the game, or we have to go public, or we have to go to the private markets, or whatever to get there. But what we're doing is we're proving it out with Epic. But the point is between now and Christmas, I'm going to get the setups in here for you guys, and we're getting the algorithms, the first 6 algorithms done and published, and the room open for each algorithm, right? For oil and gold and S&P and silver and stuff. And then, so now Christmas comes, Christmas time. I'm going to sit down and I'm actually going to write a book. I'm actually going to put together a proper training video series, finish it all off, right? So that at 2 o'clock in the morning, somebody can get on TV and sell it. And you also get, anyway, I don't think that'll ever happen, but I think you get the point. So we're going to document it all. We're going to get the algorithms documented. There's a process that we're in right now, and you're absolutely right, Chris. So this part of that trader's dashboard that we're going to build is going to be these setups. So not only are we going to document them in blogs, in writings, books, videos, etc. But in the modern age, you want to code it. Is this ever having a hard time with that natural resistance? I might have not have my fib set right. There might be a fib there that I just don't know about. But anyway, the point is that that's going to be part of the trader's dashboard. Now, if this gets up over the fifth leg, you got to know that the probabilities it confirms up through the fifth and it gets into the sixth, it's actually now divergent, completely divergent. And at that point, you can go into 10 legs easily, just so you know. Yeah, don't work on stuff on your own. We need help. June, we're contacting everybody that's reached out. We've had a great response from people, and we're contacting everybody. Look at this. So here we go. We got up over that natural resistance. If I got my fibs and everything set right, well, either way, there was natural resistance there. Now there's a fib. So 150. So if you're in, you might want to cut because you're getting at the end of your fifth leg here. And what was my entry? 134. So I'm going to cut right now. $1,000. So closed 1,000. I mean, it's not a big trade, but it's to show you, right? 1,000. 149.3. So what is that in percentage? If somebody has a calculator, if you could do that for me, $1.34 to $1.49, just to get an idea, if you wouldn't mind. Wants to figure it out, eh? Wow. Okay, 134 to 149 is got to be 15%, 15.3 or something. It's just a wild guess. So 15. Let's call it 15%. How long was I in that trade? Not very long. Like the last setup, this setup is, quote unquote, with capital letters, neon flashing sign, freedom. I'll tell you right now. I can take this trade all day long and I'll never lose. I'll lose maybe out of 100 times, maybe 4 times, and my loss will be puny. If I'm full-time trading, right? Not running businesses. So there you go. So why is this important? So we're in the fifth leg right now, so I'm not doing anything more with it unless it gets up over here, and then I go in, into my fifth leg, and it could easily go into 10 legs on the day. So right now I'll just set my alarm. If it gets up in there, we'll look at it. Save. Okay. So why is this critical? This is critical to learn because our original deal where did I see that set up? CALA, right? There we go. Okay, so what we worked on for a couple weeks there in the room, on the 1 day, on the daily chart, the 200 comes down. Your job is to search for these charts. How do you find these charts? You go to your winners for the day, the momentums, and just click on each one and go through each winner and see if this is setting up. Because obviously, if it's getting this Momo in here, it's going to show up on your basic scans, right? You don't need a special scanner to find that. You just need percentage winners for the day. Anyway, my point is that this is the first setup we worked with. Then I showed you this and how to trade through it. and I've worked through, you know, things like the 5 legs. But what's more important is, in many instances, not so much with CALA, but many of them, what happens is you get into this bottoming here, and lots of people want to trade that. You see a lot of gurus in there. They like that. They like it for a reason, though. They like it because there's a high probability of getting spikes in here, and there's a high probability they won't go any lower, and they don't, you know, there's all that reasoning. I don't like bottom feeding, but if you are going to, because a lot of people do it, so it's obviously attractive for whatever reason, I wait for confirmation. So I lose 15% on every trade. I want the meat of the trade. That's what I want. You'll find I'll almost always get the tops, but I'll lose 15% waiting for confirmation. So anyway, here's what I'm getting at. As the MAs were coming down, you know, so you could have got chopped up in here or not. So here was your first opportunity, right? So I'm saying wait until it's over the 200. As soon as, so price is tanking, as soon as price gets through the 20, so let's fatten up the 20, that's your powder blue. If you're bottom feeding, that's a trade. Where's your resistance? The 50. So you can trade in between there, and you can work your fibs like I just showed you on GLBS. So this whole scenario I just showed you, so that if you want to catch the first 15% of these moves, to do these properly, you need to know how to do what I just showed you in GLBS. So you're not only looking at your MAs, because all the way through here you got to bring your time down, right? You got to bring your daily down to a 60, down to a 30, so you know where your resistance is. But really your main resistance is on the daily, just like you took the trade on. But you know, you might get from 558. So if you're good at stalking charts, and you can set up alarms, right, on most charting, you know, when it crosses the 20-day, let me know, kind of alarm. So 574 up to 661. So you get 25, you know, you get 80 cents in there. And on 574, so 80 cents on 574 is about that 16% we talked about. But the problem is that 16% is, well, as far as days are concerned, you know, that's 9 days of trading in there. But it's percent a day, and that's what you're looking for. And then once you're getting into your resistance, you bring it way down, like to your 3 and 5 minute, and as soon as your MAs turn on you and prices under the MAs, say on the 3 or 5 minute, then you just cut, and that'll get you out at the right time. And then you would wait for it to get back through the 20, and then the same thing happens here. And then it comes back down to test, and it actually bounced. So here you would scale in real heavy. So you got a second leg here. And it's obvious when you get out. So the gurus that know what they're doing make a lot of money right here. So when I'm trading full time, I'll trade that. And then it, you know, it comes off and you cut. And then, you know, it's not working anymore because it's, you know, it's just been injured. It's come off the 200. Anyway, so that's how you do it, and you can do it all the way through here, you know, but it takes serious skill set. But you know what, you go into most rooms and there's cowboys firing off all kinds of shots all day long, and they're in between these MAs and they have no idea it's all there, but it all has a process. And when you know the process, you're going to win. And what's going to happen is over time, I'm going to show you way more sophisticated ways to do this. All I'm showing you right now is I'm showing you the simple ways to execute for the highest probability of trade, because my test is what percentage of people, like I don't care if there's 10 people in a room for the next 10 years, I couldn't care less. What I care about is those 10 people, how many of those people actually take these and find freedom. That's all I care about. If I can do that for one, great. If I can do that for 100, great. But it's done it for me. This is the way I'm retiring. I've done it all my life, and it works. And if you test what I teach you, you're going to say, you know what, he's not blowing crap. He's, you know, he's giving me probability plays of 9 out of 10. Anyway, so what I'm going to show you is way more sophisticated ways, you know, to get your diagnostics together. But this, just in this, you know, 80-90%. As long as you cut fast, you have to follow rule number 1, right? You have to cut fast. So that's our midday review for today. I'm not going to get to the other charting. Oh, Kurt, is that what CBLI is doing? Is what CBLI is doing as far as this? I'm going to assume that's what you're asking me. CBLI. Let's look. Remember your 5 legs. Very important. Very, very important. Your chances of getting past 5 legs are at best, and I've never figured it out, but I can just tell you it's at best 10, you know, 1 to 10 on the bad side, on the downside, on the intraday, well, on any time frame. So I still don't understand your question. Is it in down 15% stage? So the first, did you watch all the midday reviews, Tracy? I need to know that. I know they're boring, but I need to know that. So anyway, daily. So if the question is first, did this setup, does this follow the setup that we've been working on in all those midday reviews that I'm begging everybody to watch? It does. It follows the setup. And if you look closely, when it got over the 200, I mean, it just kaboom, right? So perfect setup. Now, so it's above the 200. So if that's the question, yes, that is the setup. If the question is whether or not it's, oh, I see what you're saying, the 15% that I miss. So what I'm saying is that I miss 15% of the move because I wait for things to confirm. There was no room here to confirm. Like, there was no confirming. This was just a rocket ship. And so when I talk about confirmation, it's, you know, a stock that goes up a bit, it comes back, it tests, and it goes up, and it, you know, it stairs up, right? It works up the stairs. This was just a straight freaking rocket ship. So yeah, anyway, I think that's what you mean, because I'll miss 15%, 10 to 15%, because I'm waiting for the stair to happen, right? I want to see the confirmation. And confirmation, you know, you just have to maybe do some research on what it means to have your play of a entry confirm. But the confirmation of any entry is really, when I took the trade, did it go up or down, first of all? If it went down, I better have cut. You take a trade and it goes down, like you guys were doing that yesterday with CBLI, I wouldn't do that. That's up to you guys. I was watching it. I didn't say anything. You didn't hear me go on a rant. But I enter and it goes down right away. Normally I'll cut. Not all the time. Depends on the scenarios. But proper discipline says you cut immediately. Give the broker a hot dog. Cut immediately if it doesn't go up for you. So that your first confirmation is it went up. Your second confirmation is after it went up, it went down. When it went down, did it hold at the fib or the MA or whatever your setup is, right? And then did it go up again and take the next stair up? So that's your confirmation. So in those confirmations, I'll tend to lose, you know, 5 to 15% of the trade just in there. But I'll also lose it underneath that 200. So that's what I mean by losing 15%, right? Like in total in the trade, in the range, I'll lose 15% because I don't get this in here. Like, there's guys that are getting all of this under the 200 MA that I just showed you guys. Yeah, so you're losing money because you cut, because you didn't follow price trigger power trade. You're missing the power part. If you follow power, you will never take paper cuts. You'll find that when, for example, I'm trading oil, you'll see that I'll get the power part 9 times out of 10. So if you got the power part, you're on the right side of the power part, you'll never take a paper cut. So you got to get to know that part. So the price trigger power trade, it's the velocity of trade. And the traders that know what they're doing, they're in there. That's where that power comes from. So that's confirming for you that's your long. And then you get the boom, and then that's what happened. You know, go back in the GLBS. As soon as I entered there, boom, it took off. And then I had said to you shortly into the trade, I said, just so you know, and you'll hear it all the time, just so you know, my stop's at my entry. So if you get the power part right, you'll get it, Trace. Don't worry about it. You're smart. You'll figure it out. It just takes a little practice. But you never want to take a trade and be on the wrong side right away, like you guys did yesterday. That's just my opinion. Maven, for example, is an expert at loading into trades and, you know, holding through washouts and stuff like that. But that's future. Once you get all your rules in play and you're disciplined, then the magic happens when you can bend the rules. But you can only figure out when you can bend the rules because you are so in tune with the markets that you are less than 1%, right? Because the 99% give the other 1% their money. So once you are the best in the 1%, you can now bend your rules, and the real magic there is, I mean, that's where all the big profits come from. The huge, the smart, the biggest ones. Okay, hope I helped. That's the noon midday review, and we'll go from there. Thanks, guys. I'm going to get set up for the afternoon and make some more money.